Well, some may not know of Millard Fillmore at all, and others may think of his short-term president as one of unrenowned leadership. Those in southern Cayuga County townships of Summerhill, Locke, Moravia, and New Hope are quite proud to call him their native son. Millard's rag-to-riches story is one of determination, hard work, and unfathomable self-teaching.
He certainly is our favorite because he was born here, and not every town in America can boast the President of the United States was born here.
Millard was born in New York State, second of 9 children to Nathaniel and Phoebe Fillmore in what is now the town of Summerhill. Millard's parents had moved to Summerhill from Bennington, Vermont in 1798. They were known as the military tract. When the Fillmores arrived, young and new to farming, they found their land was forested with poor soils, not the most encouraging of situations. That said, they cleared the trees and built a small cabin and began to farm and build their family. The people of Summerhill maintain the land of Fillmore's birthplace, considering it sacred ground and a reminder that anyone, anywhere can grow to become someone.
When children come here, they can run barefoot and realize that when the next president ran around here in bare feet, and they could say that they would ran around here in bare feet, same land that the president did.
Sadly, the Fillmores lost their home in Summerhill in a land dispute over a bad property title. And they began again, the next time, leasing land, clearing it, and building a cabin in New Hope, New York. While this felt very unfortunate, Millard later shared that the move put them in a better place for succeeding, a better place for meeting others, and for commerce. The Fillmores remained in New Hope for 16 years. Immerse yourself, even briefly, into Fillmore's history, and it becomes obvious that his parents sought opportunities for their children to succeed in ways that didn't require the physical hard work of farming and the experiences that they had had. When Millard was 14, his father made an arrangement for Millard to learn about the carding and cloth-making business from a former neighbor. However, instead of teaching him the business of cloth-making, Fillmore was kept busy with the work of chopping down trees for fuel, causing Fillmore to leave, saying he could chop trees at home. The injustice made him feel for the weak and unprotected, and hate for those who act as insolvent tyrants, setting him up for public service many years later. At 15, Millard began to work with another carding and cloth maker, this time closer to home in New Hope. While there, Millard purchased his first dictionary at the time, with the goal of learning the proper meaning of every word that he didn't know, testing himself each time he passed his desk. He did this for about 4 summers, attending school for 2 or 3 months during the winter. School was intermittent because work demands were high. At 18, Millard taught school in the town of Scott, 9 miles away. Eventually, the school was closed, and Millard walked 140 or so miles across the state to visit relatives in East Aurora, New York.
While Fillmore was in Congress, he was the head of the Ways and Means Committee. And in that powerful position, he was responsible for a lot of the funding for the government, one of which was the bill that authorized Samuel F.B. Morse to set up an experiment for his telegraph. Fillmore, as president, was there when the U.S. Capitol was built.
Well, we don't have the statue that Buffalo has. We have a memorial picnic area, Fillmore Glen State Park named in his honor, historical markers dotted through the countryside, and bathtub races. Wait a minute. Bathtub races?
One of the persistent myths about Fillmore is that he was responsible for the first bathtub in the White House. Actually, they had bathtubs all the way back to Andrew Jackson, and probably had other types of bathing facilities even prior to then. But the myth started